Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kenma Kozume ex-listener. This one is titled I'm Not a Game, and this is part 4 to the I'm Not a Game series. This has been a long-awaited part 4. I know I haven't posted it in a little bit, so I'm sorry about that. So here's a part 4, woo woo. And I wanted to say before I start the video, I am going to be posting part 3 to Losing, Loving, and Choosing You because I haven't posted that in like a little over a month. So I'm sorry about that. Anyways, we don't talk about me being really bad at updating series. Anyways, this intro is getting kind of long, so without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Kuro is a man now. You're unsure how the situation ended up like this. Kozume and Kuro are both walking behind you after your purchases from the convenience store. Neither of them saying a word behind you. You try to pretend that the two aren't behind you as you take in the night sights of Tokyo. The streets are crowded with a vast amount of people varying in different age ranges. Many adults seem to be heading home after their work or entering bars to wind down. A few high schoolers are out there with some of their friends, and families have their grocery bags, probably for tonight's dinner. There was a lot of things going on and a lot for you to take in. But you don't linger around the streets for too long. You take a turn towards your neighborhood and away from the bustling sounds of the city as they seem to fade into non-existence. Only the faint car horns behind you remind you that you are not in the countryside. You inhale the cool summer night air and turn your attention towards the sky. Your footsteps seem to slow down to a halt when you notice that there's not a single star in the midnight sky. Kuro and Kozume slow their steps when they see you stop. Kuro raises an eyebrow and looks up to see what you're looking at. Kozume keeps his eyes on your back. What are you looking at, YN? Kuro cuts the silence between the three of you. There's no stars in Tokyo, you answered, your eyes still upward. Kozume then looks and also notices. He doesn't usually bother with simple things like that. His eyes are usually glued to a screen of some sort. It's a bit lonely. Your words are isolated, lowering your head as you continue to walk back to your house, noticing the outside light is on. A smile graces your face when you realize that your dad is now back from work. You quicken your pace, practically running. Kozume and Kuro both lower their eyes from the sky to see you already running across the street. How was she so fast? I didn't even hear her run. Kuro widens his eyes, hurrying up to follow after you. Kozume idles for a bit, staring at you with cat-like eyes. His impression of you is constantly changing today. Inserting the key to your house, you twist the doorknob open. You see your dad just settling things down on top of boxes that were laid out across the living room. Dad, you call out to him, hugging him from behind. Kuro stops at your front door and Kozume catches up to him. Your dad is startled when he feels your warmth, a gentle smile forming onto his face. Hi, sweetie. I was wondering where you went off to. You release your hold on him and raise up 2 plastic bags. I went to get us dinner. Your dad eyes the bags and smiles, his large hand ruffling your hair. Sorry for making you go out. I'll be sure to go to the market tomorrow. How was school? You lied to him. It went well. Because I was there. Oh, sorry. The wrong voice. Because I was there. Kuro brings the attention to himself as you notice the door didn't close all the way. Your dad looks past you and grins when he sees Kuro and Kozume. Oh, sorry for not realizing you, Kuro. Kozume. Your dad walks over to the two of them, greeting them. You bite your lower lip, narrowing your eyes at Kuro again. So the three of you see each other at school too? How did YN do on her first day? Kuro looks over to you, unsure as to how he should reply. You lower your eyes. You didn't want to worry your dad with how things went today. Last name and I share a class together. We actually sit right next to each other. Kozume speaks up behind Kuro. Oh? Then can I trouble you to be friends with her? I know she's a bit stubborn and mouthy, but I promise you she's a sweet girl. Your dad speaks fondly of you and you see a frown forming on your face, and a frown forms on your face when you hear him. Kozume notices your pained expression when he looks past your dad and looks towards you. Kuro looks away from you and looks over at your dad, changing the topic. Mr. Last Name, I told my grandparents that you moved in yesterday, and they'd like to help the two of you, and they'd like the two of you to come over anytime you're free. Your dad looks over at Kuro and nods his head with a grin. I'm free this weekend. Please tell them hi. Or please tell them I said hi. Kuro nods his head and glances at his watch. We should head back. Have a good night, sir. Both Kuro and Kozume bow to your dad. Wayan, make sure to say bye to the two of them. Your dad turns his attention towards you and you raise your hand up, lightly waving at the two of them. Even Kuro knows that you're only waving because of your dad, and seeing you see him off made him smile. Kozume also raises his hand to mimic your wave. Your dad wishes them a good night before closing the door. He returns his gaze gently onto you with a small smile. I'm happy there's someone here for you in Tokyo, Wayan. You raise an eyebrow, listening to your dad when he grabs the things out of your bag, or he grabs the bags out of your hands. It pained me when you would come home all alone to this empty house. But fate somehow brought you and Kuro back together. The two of you used to be inseparable back in the day. Your dad let out a chuckle, the two of you sitting down on the floor as your dad takes the things out of the bag that you had brought home. Aren't you happy to see Kuro again? Your dad hands you milk tea. Your eyes lower to your jackets that was draped over you. The faint, earthy wood scent wraps around you. You crack open the milk tea can and take a sip, unsure of how to reply to your dad's question. The two of you eat in a comfortable silence after cleaning up your mess you headed upstairs. You walk over to your bed and lean yourself down on the soft mattress, your eyes looking up towards the white ceiling. You recall the events of the day. You're slowly closing your eyes. Kuro's face appeared in the darkness of your mind. He's just as stubborn as you are. Every time you pulled away, he stepped forward. You hated how persistent he was. You feared that if you let him in, he would magically disappear again. 8 years the two of you grew up together. 8 years the two of you grew up into the people that you were today. Kuro changed into a more outspoken person, while you had changed into someone who kept their distance. The times you would speak out is when something irritated you and the words just escape your lips. They were never worded that beautifully. You faked a false confidence to hide your vulnerability. But that confidence only leads you to trouble, and you've experienced it twice today. The eerie feeling of someone touching you returns you to a wince. You try to pull away from the vision by thinking of someone else. Your mind pulls you towards the moment Kuro held you in his arms, and the reminder of the train ride. Fear wreaked havoc in your mind but you had felt safe in Kuro's arms. He isn't just the same little boy that you played with in your younger years. You pull his jacket closer to you. Kuro is a man now. Mother's poetry book. Your commute to school was full of paranoia when you had rode on the train alone in the morning. Thankfully, you arrived early in the morning to avoid the rush. Keeping your head down, you walk past the school's gates. With some time to kill, you decided to spend your morning in the courtyard, settling yourself onto one of the picnic benches. Placing down your backpack on the table, you unzip your bag open and pull out a book. The book is a collection of poems that your mother had read to you when you were younger. You stumbled upon the book yesterday when you were unpacking. You feel the sun rays warm your back and your eyes darting left and right as you read. To hate is an easy thing, or to hate is an easy, lazy thing. But to love takes strength. Everyone has, but not all are willing to practice. Rupi Kaur? I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. This poem specifically calls out to you, and you continue to reread it over and over. Your lips press together, and your brows knit together in irritation. You close the book shut, running your fingers through your hair. If you have really thick hair, just pretend that you sat it on top or something, I don't know. You decide to make your way to class, throwing your backpack over your shoulder. Several students start to enter the school courtyard, and you're careful not to brush up against anyone. A familiar group of guys enters the courtyards and they notice you all alone. The Ice Princess is by herself. Should I get my revenge? The guy you annoyed earlier mutters to his friends. Being the idiots that they are, they hype their friend up. I'll be right back. He forms a lopsided smirk, quickening his pace. You feel goosebumps running down your spine as you quicken your persistence, and a quick presence charging from behind you. Your reflexes make you turn around a bit, but you didn't expect the person to snag your book that you were holding out of your grasp. A piercing glare forms on your face when you turn around to stare at your attacker. You mentally groan when you see the guy from yesterday in front of you. He cockily grins at you, raising the book up from beside him. What's this, a diary of yours? He laughs, obnoxiously. Idiot. If you read it all, you could tell it was a poetry book. You stand your ground. He tilts his head, looking much closer at you. Who reads poetry for fun? He scoffs, flipping through the book. Obviously not someone as arrogant as you. You step forward, trying to snatch your mother's poetry book back. Your words easily anger him when he flicks his eyes towards you, his face scrunching together. Honestly, your beauty is wasted. He clicks his tongue, wiggling the book in his hands. You humiliated me in front of everyone yesterday, you know that? You laugh at him and raise your eyebrows. Okay, and? He fumes from your attitude, opening up the book. So I'm gonna get my revenge. You watch him as he places a hand on several pages of your book. Your eyes widen when you realize what he plans to do. Stop! Don't you dare! You yell out at him, attempting to snatch the book away from him. An evil smile etches its way onto the student's face as he rips a page out. You feel your heart drop in your chest at the sound of paper ripping. What's so special about this book anyways? Just buy a new one. He rips another page in front of your paralyzed body. Mother. It didn't matter if you could just buy another copy of the book. That one belongs specifically to your mom. Your hands tremble as you hold back tears in the corner of your eyes, clasping your fists together as you scream out at the male student. He startles when he sees the dark, hollow look in your eyes. Do you enjoy seeing others hurt? You shout at him, running full force towards the student. He tenses when you run over to him. You snatch the book back and slap him across his face. A few onlookers gasp at the loud sound, and his friends quickly run over to his side, a few of them in a ready stance as if they were going to fight you. Do it. I dare one of you cowards to try and hit me. No one's going to protect you, last name, one of the guys stammer out. I know that. You can't trust anyone but yourselves, you fucking idiots. Your voice echoes loudly in their ears. Just leave her alone, guys. The student you clapped pleads his friends. She's obviously mental. Mental? You tilt your head to the side, taking a step towards the boys. Wyan, a booming voice calls your name from behind you. You don't turn around when you see the group of boys look over. They stiffen when they see Kuro running towards you. You snatch their ripped papers from the ground as you turn around. What's going on? Kuro darts his eyes from the group behind you and then to you. Nothing. I handled it myself. You bluntly answered, walking past him. Your adrenaline dissipates when you feel the tingle running throughout your body. Kuro glares at the group of boys in front of him. I swear to God, if any of you fucking did anything to her, you're gonna pay for it. Kuro speaks to them in a low tone, his hazel eyes staring directly into each and every one of their souls. You clutch the book to your chest and quickly leave the courtyard. You didn't notice Kozume standing at the courtyard entrance. He takes one of his earphones out when he spots you. Last name? He whispers under his breath, following you with his cat-like eyes. You wondered where Kuro ran off to, but instead, you see that he's running but instead he sees you running somewhere. From your rush to escape the courtyard, you didn't notice one of the papers that had slipped out of your hands. Kozume quietly walks over to pick up one of the ripped pages. He quietly reads the page. Nothing is safer than the sound of you reading out loud to me. Rupi Kaur. I don't know how to pronounce it again, sorry. Kenma, did you see where YN ran off to? Kuro pulls Kuzume's attention away from the paper. She ran past me. Did something happen? Kozume asked, lowering the page to his side. Some guys were bullying her. Kuro clicks his tongue in frustration. Kozume recalls yesterday's scenario in the classroom. It had to be the same group of guys that Kuro was mentioning. Can you help me find her? Call me if you do, alright? Kuro dashes away from Kozume before he can even say a word. Kozume lets out a low groan. I missed when things were calm. Slowly, he gazes at the ripped pages. Slowly, he raises the ripped pages to his eyes. Where would you run off to? Kozume quietly thinks to himself. You only arrived to school yesterday, so he doubted that he would know, or he doubted that you knew where to run off to. The only places you were likely to go would be places that you knew how to get to. Would she be in the classroom? Kozume murmurs under his breath. He pulls out his phone from his pockets and sees that homeroom won't be starting for another 20 minutes. The classroom should be empty right now. Kozume settles on that theory, sending Kuro a quick text before making his way to the classroom. Your fingers tremble while your pages are being taped back to your poetry book. Tears dripping down your eyes as they sank onto the desk, or as they fell onto the desk. You stare at the ripped pages with heartache, a few tears sprinkling onto the pages that you had just taped back together. You lowered your face into your arms on the desk and cried out, I'm sorry. You whimper to no one, your shoulders trembling as you try to hold back your crying from becoming uncontrollable. The sound of the classroom door slides open, but you don't bother to look up. At this point, you could care less what everybody thinks about you. A nice princess, a wasted pretty face, mental, whatever. Quiet footsteps walked over to you and you can feel them standing beside you. Kozume stands there, unsure of what to do. He notices your trembling body and mentally panics. He's never dealt with somebody other than Kuro and a few other members of the volleyball team. None of them were girls. He pressed his lips together, praying that Kuro would hurry up and show. Last name? Kuzume's low voice calls out to you. When you hear Kuzume's voice, you slowly raise your head up. Kozume falters slightly when he sees your flushed face and glossy eyes. Your tear-stained face makes him widen his eyes briefly. Kozume feels his chest tighten when he sees you so vulnerable. YN! Kuro's panic screams hold the two of you away from staring at each other. Kuro lunges past a few desks and stops right in front of yours. You quickly wipe your tears away, trying to build your wall back quickly in front of Kuro. Hey, you're crying. Kuro squats down so his eyes are matching yours. Shut up, you whimper out, clearing your throat. Tell me what those guys did to you. Kuro knits his brows together, grumbling at you. I told you I handled it. You answered him with a glare. Kuro's eyes fall to your desk when he sees several pages ripped out messily from your book. Did they do this? Wait, that's my voice. Did they do this? Kuro's voice softens as you lower your head, unable to talk back to him. What is all this? Kuro extends a hand towards the book and you panic, pulling the book closer to you. Kuro freezes when he sees a sorrowful look in your eyes. I can buy you another one if you like, YN. You can't, you sharply say, lowering the book back to your desk and flipping the cover open. I hope you learn many things about yourself when you're able to understand the meaning of these poems. From Mother. Your mother wrote you this personal message. Kuro's eyes soften when he sees your mother's handwriting. Kozume reads a message behind you, his lips pressed together. So this book belonged to your mother? Kuro looks over to you when you nodded. You couldn't buy me all the copies in the world you want, but it won't be able to replace this one. Your words tremble from your lips, hot tears sliding down your face again as you read her message. Sniffling, you wipe the tears that never seem to end off of your face. Kuro looks at you in defeat. He physically couldn't help you. Kozume extends his hand towards the book and places one of the pages down in front of you. You stare at the page that Kozume had given you. Nothing is safer than the sound of you reading out loud to me. Rupi Kaur, I still can't pronounce it, guys. I'm sorry. You squeeze your eyes shut and wrap your arms around yourself, biting at your lower lip. You hold back your sobs finally. Faintly, you can hear the sound of your mother's voice, but you're starting to forget how she sounded. Through your sniffles and soft sobs, you lower your head, lowering your arms to your sides. I miss you, Mom. You gasp out, digging your fingernails into your palm. Kuro and Kozume silently look at you, both of them wearing a frown. They didn't know what they could do to make you feel better. Boom! That is part 4, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because it does something for you to do algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like watching, you can go watch some of my other videos. I have plenty of them to watch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. In the next video. Goodbye. In the next video. Goodbye. In the next